Good afternoon, everybody. So my name is Louis Thomas. I'm the RSM for Quebec and Ottawa Valley, and thanks to everybody for joining in. I will ask you people if you have any question while I'm doing the presentation, maybe to type it in the chat box, please, and we'll be answering the question at the end. And stay tuned because at the end there's a draw for a little door prize. And I see a very old friend that is attending that I did not talk for many, many years. I hope I see only EP. I believe it's Earn Panel there. So good that you're online, buddy. I thought you were retired. Well, last time I saw you, that's what you say to me. So. Okay, so today we'll be discussing a little bit the IP-A1 series features and benefit and all how those products are utilized in our different market. So basically, the IP-A1 is our first series of IP speakers. From TOA. We've been in the audio for the last 90 years. Actually, TOA is celebrating this year 90 years, 90, not 19. So close to your age, Ern. And basically, one of the big benefit of this is the versatility of those products for different type of integration in our industry, and it will integrate to most of the building equipment that we have as CCTV or the VMS, access control, digital signage, or fire alarm. So even if the IP-A1 is IP, it is or it can be, if need be, a serverless system, meaning that we'll be able to have a complete functional system without a server. It is SIP-based. However, when it's serverless, we're using our own technology in order to have the system components talking together. So there's many benefits to this. It's the very flexible configuration of an IP systems. So basically everything is PoE, and you have one port per device. Very flexible into the configuration or to modify a system and to scale it to the exact needs. At this time, there's no real maximum of device in the system, and it can be composed of hundreds and hundreds of device, speakers, horns, and function box. So obviously, it's very simple to cable, so it's one drop per device as it is PoE. So it's cost effective. Actually, the price range of the IP-A1 is very competitive in the marketplace, and it will, as I mentioned, be able to integrate to all equipment of the buildings. So let's take a closer look at what it is exactly. So IP-A1 products will carry SIP compatibility, UNVIF compatibility, and obviously will have multicast capabilities. Codec support at this time is G711, G722, and very soon we're talking in the next firmware update of also supporting Opus codecs. So when do we need that and when can we use it? We can definitely use it for trigger and detecting and broadcasting some emergency messages or tones. And basically you can broadcast just basically any kind of message. It might be a live paging, it might be a recorded paging coming from microphone, line, or built in as a file. And definitely there's a lot of flexibility also in the zoning of the system. So we can create, zones, groups of zones. Depending on the size of the project, it might be just from a couple of zones to, multiples of zones. And it's also like basically all paging system based over all kind of priority to broadcast your messages, your different messages. So this is the product lineup. If we take a look closely to them, we've got the first box on the top left, which is the IP-A1 PG. This box is basically the heart of our system, because that's a box that is going to give us the capability of doing multicast broadcasting to all of the endpoints, to all of the device. Also in that box, you have the scheduling function. So very handy for a school application in order to manage the school bells, or I'm talking about bells, but it can be basically just any audio file that you wish to broadcast on a schedule. So it might be a bell tone, or it might be a little song, or whatever is required by the end user. So, talking about the school, but it could be also, in manufacturers for the shift and the breaks, etc., or any type of scheduled events that you want to put into a schedule. And the schedule is very exhaustive. You can basically program hundreds and hundreds of events over a weekly base, just a single daily base, or recurring basis for a year, for a quarter, or whatever. Basically, the IP-A1 RM has the same capability of the PG box, and on top, it is a paging microphone. So you'll be able to do some instant broadcast directly from the IP-A1 RM. And you've got also numbers of soft keys that you can associate to a specific event. So it might be an emergency message, just a general message. Basically, they are soft key and assignable to whatever you want to do with the system. But the IP-A1 RM will also give you the ability to manage the multicast calls and the scheduling of also the files that you wish to put on a schedule. The IP-A1 MP is a small gadget, and I'll talk at the end about it. There's a multiple numbers of speakers available now in our lineup. We have two different horns. Why two? Basically, it's because one is with a microphone, the other one is without a microphone. The IP-A1 SC15 is without a microphone, so it's only unidirectional. The IP-A1 SC15MC has a microphone built in, so has the capability of talk back. There's also two ceiling speakers at your right. So it's based around our PC 580 series, the round and the square version. So it is the same speaker. So the same good quality paging speaker with the high efficiency of the PC 580. So we have sensitivity of 97 dB, 1 watt, 1 meter, all of those speakers, so very sensitive and very good efficiency. And we have give them the IP-A1 brain in order to connect to the network. The IP-A1 PC238 is a smaller footprint speaker, more aim around our smaller PC speakers. And we have two different box also, the IP-A1 AF and the IP-A1 PA12. Basically, they are a box in order to create an hybrid zone. So we can connect basically an IP-A1 AF to a high power amp and create an hybrid zone with a SIP extension and a 70-volt system. Basically, the IP-A1 PA12 is the same, but has a small 70-volt amplifiers built in, 12 watt. It's not a lot, but when you're using speakers like the PC580 as an example, often 1 watt or even half a watt is enough in order to have enough volume for paging and broadcasting background music. On top, the IP-A1 AF, the PC580S, the PC580R has ability to receive a microphone. And this microphone is the MP at the left that I kept for the end. So basically with an IP-A1 MP connected to the PC580R or the PC580S or the IP-A1 AF, and I believe even the PA12, but I don't really think that we'll have application for this. You can create a bidirectional system. So the MP has the push button in order to initiate a call. There's a small microphone built in as well, and an LED that will flash during the call, and that will be steady when the communication is established. So very interesting capabilities with all of those devices. So we see a little bit here how this can come together. So essentially an IP-A1 RM or an IP-A1 PG will replace basically all the equipment that is on the left. So we can have, paging microphone, the program timer for the scheduled event, the sound repeater, the amplifier. So with IP-A1, all of this is standalone. And we have capability, of just paging one single speaker or doing multicast to a numbers of speakers or a number of zones. So basically, the IP-A1, as I've mentioned, has many capabilities as SIP, UNVIF, multicast capability. We're looking a little bit more at the SIP side, using a SIP server over here. So basically, you can do, a one-on-one call with one single speaker. You can reach an IP-A1 AF to, like I've mentioned, page a zone, a 70-volt zones of speakers or the numbers of speakers that you wish. And we have directly the IP-A1 PA12 with the small 12-watt 70-volt amplifiers built in. That's giving you the same capability. And the PG that will manage for you the multicast calls for different zones and larger numbers of speakers in order to have synchronized multicast paging. One of the strengths of the IP-A1 is the ability to integrate to different technology of the building. Over here, we're demonstrating the UNVIF capability of the system. So basically, any VMS that has UNVIF compliancy will also give you the opportunity to utilize the IP-A1 system. So from the VMS client, you'll be able to page directly or, initiate a communication, let's say with, it's not illustrated there, but let's say you have the two-way horn You'll be able to talk and listen to the people you want to reach with your system. It will also give you all the capabilities of paging from your VMS client computer. Now we'll see a little bit more some application of the IP-A1. So definitely made for the North American market. As I've mentioned, we have select and required that the PC580 was in this lineup because of the high volume and utilization, especially in the educational and institutional market of those two different speakers there. So it is basically the PC580S, and at the manufacturer, we're only adding the network section of the IP-A1 in order to make it an IP speakers. So with that, basically, we can establish, as I've mentioned as well, with the small IP-A1 MP, the small monitor panel, with the microphone and the push button, bidirectional communication. So from the IP-A1, you can initiate a call to an endpoint, another endpoint. Might be one of our SIP intercom like the NSP80 MS1, which is illustrated over here, but it could be just any SIP extension that you want to reach with your IP-A1 system. So we have certification that has been mostly carried from the PC580 to the IP-A1. In order to make it UL 2043, we need to use the HYBC 580U. The BB 580 can be used, but keep in mind that we will not carry over the UL 2043 if it's not the right back box. So this is possible with the IP-A1 as well. Looking a little bit more about the application of the AF, as I've mentioned, it's a very simple box. Actually, there is also an amplifier in this one as well, but it's a low impedance and 8 ohm amplifier. So you can use it in order to just connect one or a couple of speakers in low impedance to the IP-A1 AF. We have a maximum of 15 watt available to us in low impedance. Definitely, we can feed larger amps. Might be a mixer amp, might be a straight power amp as well. And with all of that, we also have the ability to broadcast any analog audio. There's an input, and we can connect directly a microphone to the AF in order to be able to broadcast to a speaker attached to it, or we can attach also just any other device to the IP-A1 AF in order to broadcast the material that we need. So it will give us the ability to do a SIP call, like I've mentioned, or to receive a SIP call. Definitely, the AF is also really rugged. Can be installed. Obviously, it's not weatherproof in the sense of the humidity in the water, but if it's protected, it will support operating temperature of -30 to +55. There is a basic weekly timer also built in that box. It's not as exhaustive as the scheduling function of the PG, but basically just to have, a recurring message playing on a regular interval, it will do the job. Just like a little bit like a digital recorder, a digital repeater. that we can use like a EV20R. And the good news with this one, it's way easier to program, way easier also to manage than a device like our EV20R, which is a digital repeater. So the IP-A1 is C15. Basically, that was our first IP-A1 device that we have launched a couple of years back now. So definitely using the security in conjunction with CCTV, extremely popular uh, for adding audio or adding a voice to your CCTV system. Again, definitely utilize a lot in the school market, especially outside for the schoolyards or the sports field. Extremely, powerful. The IP-A1 SC15 for this type of application. Now the IP-A1 PC238. So, like I mentioned, this one does not have the capability of bidirectional communication. We cannot attach a microphone to it, but it can definitely be used a lot for a lot of application. It might be, hospital waiting rooms, and all medical or paging only, I would say, application, even for government buildings, etc., where you need some network paging systems without the necessity of having bidirectional communication. So definitely also in order to, do paging to different rooms. Here we're using, conference center. So, maybe calling the people in the conference room in order to call the people in a meeting or out of a meeting, etc. And definitely, again, in the security world, with the VMS capability and ONVIF capability and all the ability to give paging also directly from the VMS client. So the PG now, which is basically the heart of our system, because of the strong capabilities of scheduling all the files that you wish to play over the system, over a schedule. It will, like I've said, also, be necessary for the multicast synchronization. And I just want to mention something here. Even if it's SIP, uh, many SIP systems will be managed by SIP servers, but we strongly recommend at any rate that the multicast is managed by the IP-A1 PG, since it's the same and the same operating in the same exact pattern, etc. Will be able to have a better synchronization about over all the multicast page of the systems. So there's a lot of different application also where we can see the IP-A1. Definitely with all the capability also of the CCTV and the VMS about face recognition, object recognition, counting people, etc. Obviously, with the messaging capabilities of the IP-A1, you can have all kind of interaction going between the VMS and the IP-A1. Let's say you're making, object recognition. We see here the white cane recognition there. It can initiate, a message to help to guide uh, the people that has sight problems. So definitely also embedded in the IP-A1, there's a lot of capability. Um, Sending HTTP command is one of them. So basically, if you wish to trigger a message on a particular device, because all of those devices has also internally the capability of holding some audio files. So you can initiate just one single message out of one device. Might be an IP speaker or an IP-A1 AF. So you'll be able to broadcast only from this endpoint to this device. So with HTTP command, you'll be able to activate that or to trigger a control output that is on the device as well. Definitely with the IP-A1 PG, like I was mentioning again, the scheduling capabilities of all of this through the IP-A1 PG or the IP-A1 RM as well. The microphone has the same power. So we're over here. We see an example for small schools where we have different application. So we have different classrooms uh, on the top, common areas, the gymnasium also, and the playground or the backyard of the school. So definitely, we have the capability of doing their paging per zone, paging per group of zones, or to just one simple device as well, like through your SIP extension, you'll be able to call, let's say, just one horn outside in the backyard, or to initiate all call paging as well to all of the school at the same time. So different tools that are available also to us with the IP-A1. It is more for the technician that will set up the equipment, but the IP setting software or the IP setting tool is basically the tool that will help you to automatically generate all IP address to the different device and push different configuration to all of your device easily. The scheduling software, just like I was mentioning earlier, we have a snapshot here, a little bit of the programming window. So as you can see, it's spread out. So you have different colors. It's very end user friendly, especially when you're talking about schools. A lot of time, all single schools have different scheduling, and all of them needs to manage them individually. So with the scheduling software of the IP-A1, it makes it easy for all the end users. So to summarize, the IP-A1 is very powerful, very flexible. It's a very reliable solution. Even if many of those devices are fairly new to TOA Canada, the IP-A1 SC15, the horn has been in the field now for 2-3 years, and we have sold a lot of them, and has been shown as being very, very reliable. And above and beyond all of that, all of the IP-A1 device are supported by our same TOA warranty of quality. So it's the same 5-year warranty on all of our devices. It is extremely flexible for all kind of application. It can be a standalone system. It can be managed by a SIP server, by a VMS. So it makes it extremely interesting. Obviously, especially at this time, even if we have the capability for, broadcasting music, etc., definitely it's not a high-end background music system or foreground music system. It has this capability, but for quality background music, we're still an audio company, and we're mostly pushing the analog solution for this type of application. So if we have question, please go ahead, type it in the chat box. I don't think that we have any question at this time. Okay, so I'm gonna thank you everybody for your time. I believe that Chris might have a little drawing for you guys.
I certainly do. So I also want to thank everyone for coming in today. Oh, no, we got one pop in for Q&A. So we got from Ben, when selling the solution against traditional 70 volts, what are some suggestions that might overcome the difference in budget, Louis?
Here is me. Just looking at the question, the chat box there. Well, the difference in budget to overcome. It's definitely two different worlds, and as far as analog might come cheaper, you really don't have the same flexibility and the same power especially into broadcasting, message automatically or on a trigger from a control input or whatever. So I clearly see the IP technology more into the paging and the security purpose more than in the AV business. So, it's easier if you put them together, the cheap analog solution and the IP solution when it comes to integration to VMS and security, other security device. The IP-A1, even if the equipment on its own, it's more expensive, it's going to be cheaper at the end for the integration to everything. And I've made some comparison lately with two different systems, one being analog and the other one being totally IP. And the price difference was not that big, especially when you're talking about intercom capability and bidirectional capabilities. It is basically turning around the same price range. Yes, the RM has all the feature of the PG, and on top has the microphone and the soft keys in order to initiate different activities. Might be a message or a trigger on the control output, etc.
All right. Give a couple moments for a few more. Otherwise, I can get this draw underway and we can see who's going away from this seminar happy.
At any rate, if you guys have any other question, feel free to reach out to your RSM or directly to our tech support team in order to ask any other question in regards of the IP-A1.
All right, so the point everyone's looking forward to today, we have the draw for the pair of F1000 speakers. So what I'll do is, while I can't hear everyone, I'll just ask on the honor system that we all did a little bit of a drum roll going while I spin this virtual wheel and find out this name. So let us see who we got. And we were looking at, I do apologize in advance if I butcher any names. We were looking at a Lemmy de Gibon from Sunwise Engineering. So Lemmy, what we'll do is I'll reach out to you shortly after this this seminar concludes, and we'll get talking on how we get those speakers over to you. With that, I'd say that this concludes the seminar for this month. We thank everyone for showing up, and
Want to go back?
yeah, just so I can go, or there you go. And if you are available on the 9th next month, we will be looking at the IR 842 classroom system for our webinar, and we hope to see you there as well. In the meantime, thank you everyone for attending, and I hope you have a wonderful afternoon. Take care.
Thank you, everyone.
Dr. Sound. TOA.